Okay, so as I was just editing that video and uploading it, I got a alert that we got a new software update. So now 2020.44.15.4. So I'm literally going to do the exact same route that I just did, and we'll see how it goes. So the release notes are completely identical to the last update. The only thing I noticed is, like, when I first got in the car with the UI, the brake calipers on my car are a lot more red. Like, you can probably even see it in this picture in the side view. You see how red it is? Like, it wasn't red before. You could barely see them. Now, like, the brake calipers look really bright red. I looked through all the screens, and that was kind of the only thing that really stood out to me. I'm really hoping for some FSD changes, because the release notes were identical, bug fixes, FSD performance improvements. So it was identical. So I'm just going to assume there might be some code changes to AP. So I'm literally going to do the exact same route and hope we see some improvements. Already, the last two updates, I've noticed this down the street is pretty narrow, and the car drives really slow down there. It's great. It's perfect. Like, that's what I would do. Now, this is completely blind on the left. I expect stop, creep up. But again, it's just going out. Like, I'm going to just report that, because there's no way for me to, like, say the car needs to creep there. But like I just commented in my last drive, the car needs to creep on any intersection that's blind, not just stoplights, because I've only seen that waiting for cross visibility on stoplights, not on unprotected turns like this. So still, the behavior doesn't give me confidence as the driver. It's getting cold. 44 degrees. To me, that's cold. It's actually been down in the 30s here, so we've been getting ice and frost every morning. If I wasn't going the speed limit, 30 here, I think it might have struggled in that curve because it's so tight. Yeah, there was a few people asking me if there was any improvements on, auto high beams and wiper behavior. I really never had any issues with wipers other than when I first got the car, a couple of years ago. The wiper behavior was kind of like sketchy, but when they started doing deep rain functionality, I don't have issues with my wipers. The auto high beams, they're a little sensitive to reflections off signs, but that's been like that on every car I've ever owned, including BMWs. So when there would be a glare off a light, the auto high beams would kick off. What I really liked about my BMWs is I had the adaptive xenons, I think they were, bidirectional xenons, something like that. So like the shutter on one side could actually close or dip down, and the other side could stay up, which was so cool because, yeah, they fixed it here. So it used to turn into this parking lane, and it's not doing it, but it's turning into this parking lane on the right. So let's see if they improved it, because I just did this. They didn't get in the right lane. Oh, look at that. It worked. Okay, so literally I just did this exact same route like an hour ago, and it went into the incorrect lane. It went into the parking lane. That's already a fix for me. That's awesome. I don't even know what I was saying now because I was so impressed. Like, because I tested literally back to back this exact path with the last update, and it worked. I was talking about BMW headlights. So anyway, one side of the headlights could actually stay high, and the other side would stay low and dip down. And that was awesome because they would swivel around like objects and cars, and I love that car. That was a really cool car to have. I wish that the Model 3 would have something adaptive like that. To me, that's like super cool. I mean, the fact that your beams could like go around objects. I'm all about lights and stuff like that, so that and technology. So to me, that's like super geeky to have headlights, you know, beam form around and light up a sign. Because on my BMW, it would pivot the beam to the right and go up and light up all the signs for me as I was driving. And the left-hand side would be flat. So it wouldn't even be shining at cars, it would just shine at the lights. And then if it would see a speed limit sign, it would pivot over and aim at the speed limit sign. It's the coolest thing ever. And look at this, you guys, no interventions since I started. Ooh, a little rough. I'm not entirely sure why it had the right turn signal on. I don't recall it doing that at the other roundabouts I was driving through. Oh, that actually was pretty natural. Okay, so this is a good test. So this is the street with all the leaves that where it was swerving around. It did it a tiny, yeah, you can see it's doing a little tiny bit, but it's not too bad. So let's see what happens. Here is where it pulled out in front of oncoming car. It didn't yield like it was supposed to. It just pulled out. Yeah, it's still, see? Let me turn the light on so you can see this. See the wheel? Yeah, it's like swerving around, swerving around. Okay, so that, I'm not seeing any improvement with this. You know, it would be so nice if I could do a multi-point nav route, because I know that that's something that people have been requesting for years, is being able to do multi-points. Then I could just like save all my waypoints for this testing. Because what's happening is I'm putting a point in, then I'm canceling it to go a different direction. So I'm not counting that as an intervention because I was just changing my nav point. So currently no intervention since I started my drive. I think I'm going to leave the light on so you guys can see the steering wheel behavior. It's hard to see at night. So this is the exact intersection that it had this exact behavior earlier, where it kind of like had a little trouble hunting. Oh man. Whoa. This is actually worse to me than last update. It didn't. So I'm going to intervene here because that's pretty ridiculous. It shouldn't be. It's doing these maneuvers a lot more aggressive than the last update for some reason. Last update it was kind of like not as intense. See? You see how like twitchy the wheel? Look at this. I should like put a piece of tape here so you can see it moving around. This is a four-way stop. Look, it's detecting something there. It's actually the edge of the front of this truck. So it did auto-correct itself, and that what do you call it? Anomaly, that visual anomaly. Look at this. It's like down the road. I wonder if I have something I could mark. Yeah, so tomorrow I'm going to get some fluorescent tape or something like that and put it on the steering wheel so you can see. Oh, they were making out. I wonder if you guys can saw that. Anyway, I'm going to get some kind of like fluorescent tape and put it in the center of the wheel so then you can kind of see it jumping around a lot better. Oh my gosh. So that, no. I mean, it went, this is not natural. So it is driving a lot more aggressively. Like it's definitely taking the, yeah, check that out. It's definitely doing these maneuvers a lot more intense. Look, left-hand signal, right-hand signal. So what I was going to say is, oh man. Oh. It's It struggled. That was my first intervention. Okay, so what I was saying is it's taking these maneuvers a lot more intense than it was. And it pulled out pretty aggressively out into the roundabout without hesitation. I mean, it was clear, but it like aggressively accelerates. Because, you know, I have a performance model, so the car is pretty quick. Even in chill mode, this car is really, really fast. So yeah, that's one thing I'm noticing. Just to compare the two updates, because I literally just drove this exact path. The maneuvers of the steering wheel are a lot more aggressive in this build. Like, it's doing it a lot more aggressively instead of just like gently, like on the autopilot on the highway. Hopefully it's a little bit better with this interior light on, because I really want you guys to be able to see the steering behavior. Move everything around. There we go. That's weird. The nav is, there's a bug. There's like nothing showing here. Ah, why is it? That was not a stop, and it just like tried to stop. So again, there's issues with the vision again. Oh my gosh, it wasn't going to stop again. Okay, so just a few interventions, but what I was mentioning is these lines are yellow again. See that? It's yellow. So this definitely is now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think this is less about map data, and I think it's more about like algorithm and logic programming, because now when the vision goes up and confirms the color of the line, it switches white. See how it's like it's jumping around here. It's so super hard to see, but the color, it keeps flickering yellow and white, yellow and white, yellow and white, and I think that's why it keeps pushing me into the right-hand lane. Forgot I had disengaged. Yeah, see, it's all white now once the vision can see it, and then it goes. I think that's why I keep getting pushed to the right-hand lane everywhere I'm driving. I'm always in the right. So there definitely still is some programming issues that need to be addressed with the lane behavior, selecting the lanes, because since it keeps going yellow, it's going to make your car stay in the right, and I think that's why we keep seeing like nearly all of the testers get pushed to right-hand lanes. Since this is a Sunday night, Sunday evening, there's not a lot of traffic on the road right now, so it's pretty quiet. So that was interesting. So the car creeped out. You see it was 13 miles an hour because it couldn't really see, because this SUV next to us actually accelerated at nearly the same time. So it did have trouble seeing. I wish there would be a note or something to kind of give you an indication of what the car was doing. I think it did that because it wanted to make sure it was clear, but like I wish it would show you. That's odd. Still to the right. Oh, I think it was just responding to that bus. So the bus had like the flashing lights on it, and I just saw something about it was gonna do. There was some kind of action. I felt it kind of decelerate, but then it disappeared and it just started driving normal. So maybe it was reacting to those flashing lights on the bus. These cars are like zooming around me. I'm not going that slow. The speed limit is 25. I'm going 25. These colors keep changing. I don't really remember seeing so much yellow, like yellow boxes. Hmm. Stopping for traffic signal. Wonder what was going on there. Stopping for traffic control. I had to actually tap the accelerator to tell my car to go at the green. That's interesting. So it's almost whoa. It was aiming towards that barrier. It didn't hit anything, but they were all, the ultrasonics lit up red. It got pretty close there. That turn signal, that lane change maneuver was kind of strange. It was like, I feel like they turned up the aggressiveness of the steering in this release, because like driving down the street, recentering, it was a little jittery. So I think it was that last intersection. I had to confirm the green light just as I was driving here last release. I haven't had to do it. Ah, the turn signal's working. So, oh, it did. This did the same thing where it stopped at traffic control. So this one, I still had to confirm it. Maybe it's getting confused with those all the different directions of the lights. Let's see how it handles this. So, barrier up ahead. Oh, yellow dots. I mean, it went around. That wasn't very smooth. Okay, so again, it's not reacting to yellows again. So, like, at first I was kind of cool with like the fact that it was going through some yellow lights, but now that it's like not stopping at any yellow light, even lights that have been yellow for a while, that's kind of weird. Okay, this will keep us on the street. Cool. Gosh, these lines are so bad. See, they're doing all this construction and painted all these temporary lane marks. I didn't intervene, but man, that was rough. But even me, I couldn't even see what the heck was that? Like, not the car. I mean the lines. Oh yeah, that's what it's doing. So it's selecting the lane, which is fine. But initially, right before the turn hit, there was a yellow line showing. So my car wanted to go into lane number 3. But as I was turning, the vision said, "Oh no, they're all white," and then it went to lane number 2. Anyway, as I was saying, the the road back there, that was a hot mess. I mean, not that the car was acting kind of crazy, but the road was a hot mess. Like, you couldn't even see all of the lane marks because they painted over the lane marks, and you could still see all the other arrows that they were trying to cover up. So the vision was seeing it as well. So like that was really hard to even know where to go, even for me, but I didn't have to intervene. I like haven't had to intervene at all yet. The only time I intervened was when well, no, I switched the nav point and I don't count that. So we should be moving over here because it's a merge. Oh, it's not merging. Not merging. Oh, not merging. Not good. That was definitely an intervention. for sure. Okay, I'm gonna cut the nav point and just head home because that way it keeps us. Oh no, I don't want to go to the freeway. Okay, let me just continue. Oh, just keep going straight. So again, it braked pretty far back on this at this crossing for the light rail for some reason. I mean, I'm not counting that as an intervention. It's just, uh, you know, like a note. Like it's kind of odd. I mean, it's changing lanes a lot more early, which is cool. It's not hesitating, which is nice. It's not like, oh, let me take 10 minutes to do a lane change. No, it's just changing. Like, oh, I'm gonna change lanes and it changes, which is cool. I'm curious to see how it's going to act in traffic. So tomorrow we'll find out because we're going to be driving probably the same exact route. So I can show it to Mark tomorrow. I really want to see that crazy turn signal behavior. So I basically diverted from Folsom Boulevard onto M Street, which runs right through East Sacramento. And the right turn signal was on nearly the entire mile, all the way down. So I'm going to test that. So this is interesting. Like if I think the number of interventions, it's actually less. So even just comparing the dot dot 4. I'm getting kind of tired. Yeah, 15.4 to 15.3. Okay, it's accelerating extremely slow and there's a car behind me. Actually, it was a Tesla. Oh, I wonder if they know that it was me. I'm always so curious. Like whenever I see another Tesla, I think to myself, I wonder if they know that that's the guy doing the FSD beta testing. I mean, it's kind of like I have a custom plate, so it's not like you can miss me. It's the only one in California with the name of this car, so. Anyway, I always kind of wonder about that. Like, I wonder if they know if that's the guy doing the FSD beta testing. It's so funny. Sometimes it like accelerates really slow, and other times it accelerates like a bat out of hell. Like it just, it just pretty much hit that accelerator pretty hard. Let's see if it swerves back. It sure did. So there's definitely an issue with. See, it keeps going yellow on the line. So it's like, no, I can't cross here because it's yellow. See, that's exactly what's happening. That's exactly what's happening here. There's something glitching the vision out right in here where it keeps wanting to go because it knows it needs to turn left. But it's like, no, I'm not sure. See, now it's white. Now it's white. Yeah, that's what's happening. There's something tripping the vision out back there, and it's changing the color of the lane lines from white to yellow, and it's causing the car to continue to recorrect the lane. So that's actually what's happening there. At least I can see it. See, swerving around, still trying to center. Oh man, oh man. Oh, you really need a Dramamine or something when you're doing this because it's pretty wild sometimes. I mean, I'm pretty calm tonight because I'm tired, but it's a lot of swerving. Got close to that curb. It didn't hit anything, but it got pretty close. See, now it's... Oh, excuse me. Oh, sorry guys, I'm tired. Um, that one turned yellow and it was reacting. So maybe there's something about the distance in feet. I noticed that it says 75 feet on this. Sorry, 75 feet on that notice. So maybe there is like a distance. If you're within 50 feet and it's yellow, then it's going to proceed through. Maybe that's the logic difference. I don't know. I just know that the amount of intervention... What the heck? What? That was wild. Look what the screen's doing. So the sign up there is it's 2 lanes forward, and the right lane you can go straight or turn onto the freeway. It just it literally just lane changed. I mean, you guys saw that. It just lane changed right as we got to the light, like zoom, and then the turn signal stayed on. I really just think I'm in a lot more challenging. What the heck is it doing? Look at that. That was interesting. So right here, I saw... Whoa. It reacted to that bike. It drew a white line. And see how it's jumping around? It drew a white line. There's nothing on the ground. Huh. I can't even explain that. Like, there's nothing there. Now, this turn, it's always had a really rough time here. Like, I usually just cut this part out because it usually gets really, really close. Oh my gosh. Oh, I got so close. Yeah, they need to... Oh, they need to adjust that because... Man, the car's driving way more aggressive. Okay. So, literally an hour ago when I was driving through here, the right turn signal was on literally the entire way down the street. I would have slowed for that curve. It didn't slow until after we were halfway through that curve. So no turn signals yet, so that's good. Yeah, this entire stretch, the right-hand turn signal was on. It was it was pretty wild. Now we're going through ESAC. We're in the Fab 40s. So a lot of decorations here. It's beautiful. Beautiful part of town. So it is hunting around the road. Hopefully you can see this because it's driving around because the roads are so wide here and there's no lines. Like there's a line right there, but it's not far. It's like a car length. So, you know, it's hunting around. Here we go, hunting around. Swerving around the road. Swerving around a lot. Yeah. So I'm just I'm gonna keep making the suggestion to Tesla. It knows exactly the width. Draw an imaginary line down the center and make the car stick to that imaginary line. Oh, good, it reacted to that speed bump. Yeah, just draw an imaginary, it knows the entire width of the road. Draw an imaginary line down the center, even if you can't see it, and just stick to it, because right now it keeps just swerving around. Now, the right turn signal, technically you don't turn it on here because this is the road that curves around, but it is a fork, so, guess I'm okay with that. Yeah, the turn signal's fixed. That's good, because I just did this exact route and it was on the whole way. Ah, so it was going to turn too sharp, and then it corrected, and it turned out further. Okay, that was the drive with the new software. Have a good night, everyone.